stud.
Yeah, I mean, it just spoken like a true moral relativist, right?
Yes,
Just
that's right.
moral
Yes,
relativism
that's
is
right.
the reason why Muslim women are fucked.
Yeah, well, there's a claim. You would just have to like link those two things by some sort of deductive reasoning that guarantees the conclusion that you offered.
No, you're just
You
a
want to do
garbage
that?
interlocutor. You're just a little faggot
Do you want to do it? No, it's just that you can't
with some
provide the
shriveled
deductive
up
reasoning
balls
to
from
support the
years of
conclusion.
steroid abuse. You're
Mm,
just so dishonest. I don't
that's
listen to all your stories are just false. Like
there's
I
some
don't
more
even
ad-om
like tune
shit.
you.
There's some more ad-om shit. Did you want to
Like
provide the
I
premises to
remember
support the
when I first came on
conclusion?
the scene, you had people convinced you were some war hero, and then your true colors showed once. Like I started calling the butt touchers out. Nobody
Who?
believes you're
When did
some
I ever
goody
say
goody
I was
war
a
hero.
war hero?
You used to pretend you were some really good guy with some good sense of morality, and then you switched it up and just started like calling homeless people like worthless and shit.
Oh, well,
Like
that's
I come on to
JJ
this
is
like
worthless.
you're
Yeah,
just a degenerate,
JJ is
Michael.
worthless.
You're just a piece of shit. Internet fucking
Well,
troll.
well, that's a bunch of different claims, right?
You
We can
come
take that
in,
one at a
you
time.
try to convince
And you're
everyone
just
you were in
starting
the
to
Marines
try.
and you're some huge
You're just
bodybuilder and you're some
starting a
fucking
bunch of
hero.
fires. You're just starting a bunch of fires, right? And expecting you to go out one by one and put those fires out. So let's just start one by one. Let's take one claim at a time, JonJon. Since you're the guy that can reason your way to these conclusions. I'm a piece of shit because I said that homeless people were bad, right? And who's the only person?
JonJon's completely incapable of having a conversation with anybody.
Yeah, I know. I'll be off mic for a second.
I just love the childishness of JonJon.
Hey, don't mute JonJon. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, I muted JonJon because he's over talking. He wants to
Yeah, I
start as
left
many
because he
fires as
just muted me halfway
yeah.
through. This
So
guy's
Yeah,
garbage.
you guys
so
have
we're
to
just
take
gonna
it one at
deal.
a time, JonJon. One point at
Thank
a
you.
time, and no name calling.
He begged you to do his dirty work
Thank you.
for him. He's like, can you mute him for me, Iron? And then once you
No,
didn't do it, he
Iron's
just muted
here.
me
Iron's
himself
here.
and left.
He's gonna moderate. He's gonna moderate.
That's garbage.
Yeah, I unmuted you, but just so but you have to take it one at a time and try not to name call.
I was just
Okay,
making
so
the point that whenever I came into the room, like I got pretty close with Molly, and by that time, Molly, like Michael had tried to convince Molly that he was some good guy, and then like over like the course of a few months, that narrative like completely was just 180 degree. Like Michael's true colors came out. He was just degenerate as fuck, and he does came in,
Hello?
come in and like, oh.
Is he breaking up for anybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I sticking up? Can you hear me?
No, you're still breaking up.
Yeah, I was just saying that Miles tried to use his war.
Nobody can hear you.
When he's breaking up,
You're-
Iron, don't let him just filibuster and bring in a bunch of bullshit either, because right now he is just insulting Michael. He's not really bringing any
He was
substance.
some good guy. Longer. He's touch your
JonJon, you're breaking up. We can't hear you or what you're saying.
about it. And he's that's shit.
I'm not hearing a word you're saying, JonJon.
John.
What? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Try again.
I was just saying that, like, whenever I see you, Michael, I see some fucking internet troll, garbage interlocutor, who
Iron?
goes online and tells people he's some fucking war hero to try to get like some persona built up. And that shit, you failed miserably at doing it. Like your persona hasn't held up at all, just terribly because your true colors came out. Like whenever I first came in, you had Molly, you had a couple people
You're breaking up, bud.
I mean, Iron's doing a great job not letting JonJon insult people.
I think he's making a claim and then trying to build a case.
like,
I think
take
that might
pleasure
skirt
in making
the
fun of
term
him for
limits
that.
of the rules.
Like
Insulting him doesn't build the case, Iron.
No, I think he's making a claim, and so he's building towards that. But JonJon, nobody can hear you. You keep cutting out for some reason.
What, worthless isn't
you're
an
not
insult?
making it a point.
I don't know.
And
Like,
he's not
within, like,
building
the
to any
last
claim to
2
explain the
months.
worthless part either. So Iron is obviously being biased here.
Basically, what I'm saying is, whenever you first start to know Michael, you might be convinced he's a good guy until you get to know him more.
No.
Like everyone who's known
Let's
this
just,
guy a long time, thinks he's garbage.
Well, when you let me know when you're done, and then I'll respond to it.
I don't believe a word you say. You've been so dishonest in the past. People who are
Well,
really
just
close to you think you're garbage.
Yeah, just let me know when you're done.
You used to
and I'll
be
respond
my
to it.
biggest fan. You used to come up to me and say, "Oh, I love you, JonJon. I'm such a big fan of you."
Well,
And
that's not true.
I disagreed with you on moral relativism, right? And now
That's not true.
you're just unbearably annoying, right? Like for example, earlier, as soon as I mic up, you fucking laughed
Hey, can you
out at
boys
me
let me know when he's
because
done?
Declan told you you're gay too, right? You came in and you're like, "Oh, you're
I
trying to
love
joke
that Michael
around and
tried
say,
to talk, but JonJon wouldn't
Yeah,
let him address the point.
JonJon, try to limit the insults and give Michael a chance to respond.
Okay, so look, 20 minutes ago, right? I came in, I said, "Hey, who won the debate about the gay debate?" And then Declan was like, and then they started piping up towards each other. And then Michael stepped in. Michael stepped in and he was like, "Oh, I was the gayest." And then Declan was like, "Oh, but we already knew that." And then for no reason, Michael just lashes out at me and says, "Oh, well, at least I didn't fuck my brother." And then Jovan and Declan take the next 20 minutes or at least 10 minutes just derailing the entire conversation into me fucking my brother. And to the point where I just had to leave and let them finish fucking touching assholes on it.
Yeah, I think that's true. Let's give Michael a chance to
That
respond.
actually wasn't true, but let Michael respond to
But
that
now
because
he
he'll be able
wants
to
me
tell
to
the
be
truth.
moderated and shit. Nobody can talk shit anymore. These guys are just pathetic.
Yeah, but JoJo, let's give Michael a chance to respond.
I don't know which of the. Yeah, I don't know which of those claims I'm responding to. Can we get some clarification on that, Ken? What are the claims I'm responding to specifically?
You can respond to whatever you want. You being garbage, you being worthless, you making fun of him for sexual history with his family, whatever.
Respond to the part about us derailing the conversation when it was him that denied it, and we were just trying to get him to tell the truth.
Yeah, I just want to. That would be fine, but I just want to get to JonJon's point. What claim do you want me to defend, JonJon, so that you think that this is fair?
Well, I think you're worthless. I've said it. I'm like a broken record, right? I don't care what you do, Michael, or what you say. I tune you out whenever you go off on these tangents about your war stories and shit, right?
Okay, so the claim is that I'm worthless, right? And this would be a normative claim with respect to some standard, right? And you and I are going to have different standards about what is positive contribution in this server. So I just find that uninteresting. Just seems to me like you're crossing your arms, stamping your feet, and whining. Did you have any other claim that you wanted to go on about? JonJon? Earth to JonJon?
I love that
Okay, I guess that's
started
enough.
out by saying how horrible a person Tom was for calling people worthless, and now he just calls everybody worthless.
Yeah, I mean, JonJon, you could always just say you don't want to talk to Michael. That's always an option.
Yeah, but then he would have to not be able to sit there and address Michael and call him shit and insult him for 20 minutes.
I made it very clear the last time I mic'd up that I don't take Michael very serious. Like these guys, Michael and Jovan, they will take somebody serious and every 5 seconds tell them they're dishonest. Like you're dishonest, but I'm going to argue with you anyway for an hour. I'm not like these butt-touching faggots. If I say you're dishonest, I'm not going to fucking sit here and entertain you.
Iron,
Like
by touching faggots, was that substantive to the conversation?
Yeah, I think you guys should just agree not to talk to each other then. Since you guys are just getting like, well, you're engaging in name calling, it's going to get you muted pretty quickly here. And it's just basically causing you guys to go around in circles and not really get to any conclusions. So it just seems better to drop it, really.
I love that Iron never actually tells JonJon to stop insulting.
No, wait. I agree with Iron here. JonJon, do you agree with Iron's assessment?
Can we agree that inbred is not name calling?
Wait. Just let's get JonJon to come back on this. JonJon, do you think that we ought not interact with one another because it's unproductive from now on? Oh, fuck. He lives on the shit, by the way.
I think it's clear. I think it's very clear that, like I said, you're a fanboy of me, if anything, Michael. You're just some fanboy.
Well, can you answer my question?
About hurt feelings. I always.
Can somebody else answer it? Can we get some moderation? Have somebody else?
Why are you over talking?
Can we have somebody else ask him this question?
Just over talking.
I mean, this was a point that a moderator raised.
Concise. Michael asked if you agreed that it's not going to be worthwhile for you guys to talk to each other. So just try to concise.
If you guys are just insulting each other, and he said you guys just shouldn't insult each other anymore and try to be productive with each other. I love that Iron just leaves out a lot of shit every time he does this.
Listen, I agree with what you said, Iron. But for him to want me to get on mic to clarify, it's just weird because I do my best to avoid him anyway, right? If anything, he's just a fanboy. He tries to beg for my attention.
That's false because every time I log in, all you can do is talk about me in the voice and text chat.
That's just ridiculous. Like I said, the reason why this started right now, the reason why we're arguing right now is because 20 minutes ago, you lashed out at me for no fucking reason at all. You came on mic, said, oh, I was the gayest. We all came to the conclusion I was the gayest. Declan said, oh, Michael, we already knew you were the gayest. And you said, oh, well, at least I don't fuck my brother. Out of nowhere, you just immediately lash out at me like you always fucking do. And then you and JonJon spent the next 20 minutes talking about me. That's
not what happened, dude. That's not what happened. That's not what happened.
Yo.
Look, do you want me to recap my perception of what happened? Or no?
If somebody else does, sure. But I don't care what you do. I told you you're dishonest.
Yeah, I think you're dishonest too, but I'm just wondering how we're going to resolve this because I think Iron's right. I think you and I are just locked in this.
I think you should stop
this place
begging
where
for my attention.
I think I should be able to finish. I think I should be able to finish. I think I should be able to finish.
JonJon, let Michael finish this point, please.
Look, I think Iron is correct here. I just don't think you and I are capable of engaging each other honestly, right? And it's not that Iron. Let me take that back. I don't think Iron thinks that we should not engage each other because we can't do it honestly. It's just it's not productive, right? And whatever his reasons for believing it's not productive are, that's his own. But I agree with him, right? You and I are going to come to the same agreement for different reasons, but I think that Iron is correct here. Do you have any objections to that?
He's typing in chat. He's not listening to you. This is what he does every time someone else talks. He just starts typing in chat and then waits for his chance to respond.
Look, I just want to make clear here. That what happens every time I log in and JonJon's logged in, you can look at the text history. Is that he just talks shit. He snipes from the chat now. And then any time that I mic up, he goes, yeah, Michael is just garbage. Right? And he says that in the chat.
That's not true. First off, a lot of people talk shit about you in the chat. A lot of people, they don't like you, Michael. I made that abundantly clear.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of
people convinced. Like when new people come in, they look at you like you're some fucking war hero, and then they see, oh my god, this guy's just degenerate as fuck. He takes pleasure out of the misery of others. He comes on here projecting, making fun of homeless people about how they're starving and shit. You're just a terrible person.
No,
right?
I don't make fun of homeless people. I make fun of JJ. That's a different
it's just
point.
insane, dude. But yeah, I try my best to ignore you all the time, right? I literally say the butt touchers aren't worth engaging, right? I expose you guys and your debate tactics. So why the fuck would I take you guys serious? For you to act like all of a sudden that I'm trying to go out of my way to engage, have conversations with you is retarded. Just makes no fucking sense.
The point is, JonJon, if you say something, if you make a claim and he addresses your claim, then you should take his claim and address
No,
the
he's
claim.
I don't take dishonest people serious. I can't believe a word
But
you
that's
people
the
say.
point, right? Like, I would come back on that, JonJon, but you've already admitted twice, now 3 times. That
Listen, we
that
shouldn't
doesn't
talk
matter
to
what
one
I
another.
stop.
Don't beg for my
Now you're
attention
interrupting
any
me again.
longer.
Now
I
you're
agree.
interrupting me again.
Iron's right.
Can we just get some moderation here, because you're interrupting me?
Iron, why
Look,
does
so
somebody
the
have to
idea-
tell you every time to moderate them?
You wanted me to
Listen,
answer you.
JonJon.
I agree with Iron.
I agree with Iron too. So now I think you and I should have this pact where you and I are just not going to engage each other. Do you agree
Yeah,
to
I'm
that?
gonna do the same thing I've always done. Call you a worthless interlocutor and tell people you're not worth engaging. Nothing's gonna change.
Okay.
I get it.
Okay, so then that's what's going to happen. You're just going to
God,
keep
you guys are
sniping
fucking
from the
cringe.
chat.
You guys are fucking cringe lords.
Well, what do you want to do, JonJon? What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
JonJon, the trouble is you can't have it both ways, where you avoid talking to someone but you talk about them incessantly, because that's just going to cause them and the people that support them to constantly try and confront you.
Yeah.
Listen,
what agree?
I've
Look,
always-
we're trying to come to an agreement here.
Yeah, the agreement is that Michael keeps my name out of his mouth, and I won't talk about Michael. If I come in here
That
and
sounds
Even
like
in the
Michael's
text
saying
chat?
my name, then that breaks the
Even in the
pact or
text
whole
chat,
truth.
yeah.
Yeah. Listen, you don't fucking, like, whenever I come in here and then
Look,
Declan says something
look,
to you, you get
Iron
triggered
is
at Declan.
moderating me.
You don't go
Iron
on a
is
20-minute
moderating me.
tirade. Shut up, I'm still talking.
Iron is
Why are
moderating.
you interrupting? So yeah, like I was saying, whenever I come into the room, and if you get triggered at something Declan says, you don't go on a 20-minute tirade about trying to convince people I fucked my brother, right? That's annoying. So keep my name out of your fucking mouth, and I won't talk about you.
Okay. So, like, look, here's what we're going to do. I think the conditions are, I think everybody heard it, that there's not going to be any mentions of each other's names between you and I. That is in voice chat or text chat. That's no references, no mentions, etc. Are we cool with that?
You heard what I said. The conversation's over.
No, I mean, I need you to sign off on that.
I'm not going to talk about you ever again as long as you keep my name out of your mouth. It's that simple.
Cool. So that's no mentions. That's no mentions in the text chat and voice chat. Yeah. Is that what it means to keep somebody's name out of their mouth? I just want to get clarification. Can somebody who's not mad at, like, ask him that question for a point of clarification here?
There's like 2 people in here that can ask him that question.
Yeah, just give a yes or no, JonJon, just for the record.
What's he asking?
If you guys are not going to mention or talk about each other in text or voice.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about him at all in text or voice.
All right, cool.
Perfect.
I just love how dishonest JonJon is all the time.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's going to change. I mean, it's just clear I do my best to avoid a lot of the interlocutors that I consider dishonest or butt touchers.
That address your points.
So if anything, this is a huge win for me, right? Because if anything, like
Tom,
I said,
did
this
you
is
get
just
that?
a fanboy. He's a pain in my ass.
Tom, were you here for that? I just want to make that. Look, I want to make sure that somebody who's not part of the butt touching crew, other than Iron, heard that, so that we can get this on record.
Well, I heard it.
Because of
There's the voice recording. I mean, I can save it and upload it.
yes, yep, I'd like that, please.